Folks, you have to forgive me for the choppy video. I'm not really sure why it's this choppy. I may have to update my computer, close it down for a bit, turn it off, restart it, do whatever, all that stuff. But so this right here, what I'm about to do is petty. This is not important at all. This is completely meaningless. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun, just here to be silly a little bit, and once again point out how pathetic Megyn Kelly is. Because I've talked about this before. I mean, she attacked Taylor Swift just because she was using her platform to get out the vote and all that stuff. And it's like, don't get mad at her because she has a talent that you don't have. So, Megyn Kelly used to work at Fox News. I don't remember exactly what year she started there. Maybe it was like 2009 or 10. And she left in 2017. I think her contract ended. Then she went to go work for NBC for a bit. And then I think, got fired because of a comment about blackface or whatever. So, however that whole thing turned out, it's whatever. It doesn't matter to me. She's got her podcast now. Now she's got her audience and people that follow her on Fox News. They'll follow her here. And so here's the deal. So, again, I've always been the person to say, listen, if you are a Democrat and you just don't like Republicans, then be honest and say that. I mean, people see the stuff that I post and things I talk about in my videos. You know what you're getting out of me, and it's pretty clear cut. I mean, it's quite simple. If you're a Republican and you just don't like Democrat public figures, be honest and say that. Megyn Kelly won't say that. She'll attack Taylor Swift for no reason, and now she's attacking on Jennifer Lopez because of her provocative dance moves on stage. And she goes on to say stuff along the lines of, "Well, she's getting old. She's old. She's no longer a sex symbol, and people think this is trashy and whatever, blah blah blah." And it's like every artist chooses their path. I mean, if you're on stage performing and you do what you do, whether it's bending over or twerking or doing whatever, I mean, a lot of people pay to go see that stuff. I mean, not me, obviously, because music concerts are too expensive for me and I'm kind of a cheapskate. But uh, a lot of female artists do that. Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Meg Thee Stallion. There's a lot of them that do that to one degree or another. And so my advice to Megyn would just be, then it's probably best if you just don't watch any concerts. At least concerts featuring, female artists. Because most of them, a lot of them are going to do that. So here's the 60 seconds. Here's what Megyn Kelly said. I thought this was hilarious. And then I'll say more after this.
J-Lo's out on tour in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where no one's listening to J-Lo. Her tours have been a mess. Her songs are unpopular. Here's a man with his face in her crotch. For the listening audience, we see Heine with a thong, and a man looks like he's giving her oral sex, like his face is in her crotch. Now she bends over, and then for the next several minutes, she simulates actual sex acts. Like, she's doing actual sex acts, though she's clothed, with a bunch of men wearing just pants and corsets, I guess. I don't know what they're wearing. Like doggy style, missionary, her sitting up on them and writhing and grinding. She's 55 years old, and she hasn't come to grips with the fact that she's not a sex symbol anymore. I'm sorry. I can say this because I'll be 55 in November. We're not sex symbols. We could look great for our age. We could rock a bikini in the right setting. That's terrific. Good for us. But asking the American public to look at you and be like, I want to have sex when I look at her, that ship has sailed. I'm sorry, it's sailed with menopause. And a postmenopausal woman out there bumping and grinding against 30-year-old men, it just makes us think about how old you are. Try to have some class instead of embracing life as a now soft porn actress. These are the same people in different bodies.
I'm willing to bet.
J-Lo's up.
Okay, hold up a second. So I had to pause that. I had to make sure it didn't go into the next video. First of all, I'm willing to bet that those 30-year-old guys on stage, assuming that that's how old they are, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell based on maybe they want to have sex with her. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they probably did. I don't know. But at the beginning of that video, she said, J-Lo, she's in the middle of nowhere, something, I don't know, whatever. Nobody listens to her. Her songs are unpopular. Ugh. Well, Megyn, again, this is just me being petty right here. I'm having fun with this. I had fun when I was talking about her and how she attacked Taylor Swift. Look, 5 social media profiles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. On Facebook, Megyn, you have 2 million followers. On Facebook, J-Lo has 60 million. Twitter, Megyn, you have 4 million followers. And by the way, 2 and 4 million, those are still great numbers. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you have that many, a lot of people are following you, obviously. On Twitter, J-Lo has 43 million. On Instagram, Megyn has 2 million. J-Lo has 247 million. YouTube, Megyn, you have 4 million subscribers. J-Lo on YouTube has 17 million. TikTok, Megyn has 2 million. TikTok, J-Lo, 260 million. Yeah, nobody listens to her, nobody follows her, and nobody... Well, Megyn, if somebody with 260 million TikTok... Like, even if you were to look at... Take away the Instagram and the TikTok. Between YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, that's between 17 and 60 million. So if somebody with that many followers you're saying nobody listens to, well, who the hell is listening to the person with 2 to 4 million followers then? I mean, you're talking about somebody who sells out arenas across the globe. That's just like when Trump said, oh, well, nobody really knows who Beyonce and Taylor Swift are, and nobody pays attention to them. And those are the two, I would guess. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. I don't really follow that industry that much, but I think Taylor and Beyonce are the two that are probably the ones who are grossing the most money out of doing the music tours and everything. I mean, selling out stadiums across the globe. We're not just talking about arenas the size of Joe Louis or Little Caesars. We're talking about stadiums the size of the Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. You're talking about the O2 Arena in London. You're talking about places that's the size of the Michigan State Stadium, which is a capacity of like 100,000 to almost 120,000 people. And these people are grossing tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars at their shows. And people pay that type of money to go see them. Now, as I said before, I think all these people are great individually as people. At least I love what they do politically. I could think one way or the other about their music, but because, like I said, I'm not paying to go see that stuff because I'm a cheapskate and that stuff is too expensive. If it was free, would I go? Maybe. But she's saying, get some class. Megyn. You know what I think is the definition of not having class? Supporting a guy who made a crude joke about you on national television. Now, as I remember correctly, and as a lot of us remember correctly, in 2016 when Trump ran, he was talking about Megyn Kelly in a very crude way. He said, because Megyn Kelly actually used to be critical of Trump. She was critical of Hillary too, obviously. Fox News obviously hates Democrats. But when it was brought to Trump's attention that Megyn Kelly criticized him, he was quoted as saying, and he literally said this in this exact quote. Look it up if you don't believe me. He said, well, Megyn Kelly, she's just bleeding from her eyes, bleeding from her, wherever. That's exactly how he said it. He literally said it like that. He said bleeding from her, whatever. So, Megyn, this is the guy who shamelessly and disgustingly made a joke about you bleeding from your vagina on national television. And granted, I don't think she voted for him that year, but then she went on to vote for him the next 2 times. And also, when you sit there and imply that, oh, what she's doing is trashy and has no class, when Joe Biden and a lot of the Democrats were on TV saying that a lot of Trump supporters were trash, what did you and almost every right-winger do? You took to Twitter and Instagram posting photos of yourself wearing trash bags and having the MAGA hat and saying, yeah, we're trash, whatever. But you're saying that an artist on stage who is known for doing provocative moves and who has built up an audience essentially by doing that, just like Beyonce, just like Cardi, just like Nicki, just like, who else did I say? Meg Thee Stallion. They're trash and they're not classy. I'm sorry, that's laughable to me. And I'm just being petty. But again, I admit I can be occasionally and selectively petty. I can own that about myself. I own up to that. Got no shame in admitting that. That's just me. Let me go through
Out on
this
tour
again.
in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if he's giving her oral sex, like his face is in her crotch. A minute, she simulates actual sex acts. Like, there. She's doing actual sex acts, though she's clothed, with a bunch of men wearing just pants and corsets, I guess. I don't know. And writhing and grinding. She's 55.
That type of stuff happens at music concerts all the time. Now, granted, not every musician does that. Some of them are not comfortable with doing that. But to the ones who are comfortable doing it, well, let me ask you this. Is Jennifer Lopez losing support because of this? If she was, let's say her support dropped from, let's say she's got 260 million followers and all that, and let's say she woke up and a few weeks later she was down to 160 million, and then it drops down 80 million, 50 million, 40 million. At that point, somebody would have to say, yeah, you need to change something. And then she would have to be like, oh, shoot, maybe this is disgusting. Maybe this is trash. You may have to change it. But guess what? She continues to gain more and more money out of this. And so here was my comment under her video. I said, Megyn, get a life. I'm not really much of a fan of J-Lo's music, but I'll say this. It's a free country. We all make our own choices. Each artist chooses their path. Just like comedians, some choose to be dirty, some choose to be clean. J-Lo has a net worth of $400 million, and she, like Beyonce and Taylor Swift, sells out arenas across the globe. Obviously, enough people like her and enough people pay to go see her. Not me, because that stuff is too expensive, but who are we to judge? Let her do her. And of course, nobody responded to that, because I don't think there's a way to, again, it doesn't matter how you feel about the artist. You can think that the artist is unattractive or trashy, or you can think they're sexy and completely classy or anything in between. But at the end of the day, it is a form of art, and enough people pay to go see it. You know, it reminds me, back in the day, people complain about, well, people still complain about this, but it's like when people complain about Eddie Murphy being foul, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Andrew Dice Clay. They still made their money. They still sold out places. You look at Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock today and Kevin Hart. They take flack because they made gay jokes and like, oh, they're losing support because of this. No, they're not. They're still making $15 to $20 million per special, probably more than that. And they sell out a lot of places. And so it's a form of art that they chose. And those comedians are known for using vulgar humor. They curse all the time. They make sex jokes and they talk drugs, alcohol. They make fun of politicians, mostly Republicans. And if that was a problem, they wouldn't be making the money that they're making now. And they wouldn't be the superstars that they are today. So clearly, they must be doing something right for them, or what they feel is right for them. And so with people like Beyonce and J-Lo and Taylor and all of them who do what they do on stage, that's okay for them. And the people who really like them and who pay to go see them, let them do that. They want to throw their money to them. That's fine for them. They feel it's money well spent. Me personally, they want to spend the money on the photo ops and all that. Again, too expensive for me because that stuff is like between $1,000 and $5,000, probably more. I'm a cheapskate. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. I'm not paying to go see that mess. Would I see them for free? Maybe. But of course, most of the people who go to see them anyway are women and younger, kind of middle-aged women. I'm sure there's a lot of guys there too, and they're enjoying the shows for obvious reasons. And there's no complaint there either. But I don't know. I just had to talk about that. I had to bring that out. So Megyn Kelly, to me, is the one who I would look at her and say, you supported a guy who made a joke about your vag on national television, and you're still supporting him, and you're wearing a trash bag on Twitter. I think you're the one who has no class, Megyn. And you just sit up on your high horse and pretend like you're more intelligent than you are. And it's like, there's really no words for that. Let these artists do what they want, and if you don't like them, you don't have to watch them. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to like them. You don't have to respect them. You don't have to pay to go see them. You do you, and they do them. So, and by the way, everybody who's following Megyn Kelly on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, unfollow. I want her, just like Azalea, to lose support. This is me being petty. If you're subscribed to her on YouTube, unsubscribe. And by the way, give me a subscription. Because I'm at 427 subscribers and I'm trying to reach 500 by the end of the year. So help me out there. And if you're watching it on Facebook, the link to my YouTube is in the comment section. You know the drill. Go to the About section. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The links to my Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok are all in the About section of Facebook, as well as YouTube. And then in my next few videos, I'm going to get to the serious stuff. Political stuff, get that out the way. I got to do some reviews of some shows and movies. So stay tuned. Megyn Kelly is pathetic and J-Lo's doing just fine.